So things like that happen. I mean, it's you could argue that it was, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule him on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's Alex Eala. That's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big.
The tennis world is still talking about Alex Eala's early exit from the Australian Open, and now Novak Djokovic has reportedly weighed in on the controversy. According to critics of the tournament's scheduling decisions, Eala was not given the level of recognition many believe she deserved. As the most successful tennis player the Philippines has ever produced, Eala arrived at the Australian Open carrying the hopes of millions of fans and the reputation of a rising global star. Expectations were high, but instead of receiving a showcase court that matched her growing popularity and achievements, she was assigned to a smaller venue. Many supporters felt this decision failed to reflect her status in the sport. They argue that a player who has consistently broken barriers for Philippine tennis and attracted worldwide attention deserved a bigger stage, not only for her own recognition, but also for the fans eager to watch her compete. Critics claim that the handling of Eala's match became yet another example of how emerging stars sometimes struggle to receive the same treatment and visibility as more established names in the game. The call stunned everyone watching. Alex Eala immediately looked toward the line judge in disbelief. The ball had appeared comfortably inside the line, and even spectators in the stands seemed confused by the decision. Yet the call stood, and instead of winning a crucial point,
during a key moment of the match, Eala found herself forced to continue under circumstances that many observers considered unfair. What made the situation even more frustrating was the timing. This wasn't a routine point early in a match with little significance. It came during an important rally that could have shifted momentum in Eala's favor. In tennis, momentum is everything. One questionable call can affect a player's confidence, disrupt concentration, and change the entire flow of a contest. According to critics, incidents like these have become part of a larger pattern that raises concerns about how rising stars are treated on the biggest stages. Supporters argue that Eala has repeatedly had to overcome obstacles that extend beyond her opponents across the net. Whether it's controversial officiating decisions, limited court assignments, or a perceived lack of recognition compared to other players, many believe she has not always received the level of respect her accomplishments warrant. That is why Djokovic's reported comments have generated so much attention. The Serbian legend is known for speaking his mind when he believes players are being treated unfairly. His willingness to highlight concerns surrounding Eala's treatment has added fuel to a debate that was already gaining momentum among tennis fans worldwide. For Eala, however, the most impressive aspect of the entire situation may
be the way she responded. Rather than allowing frustration to consume her, she continued competing, fought for every point, and carried herself with professionalism. That resilience has become one of her defining qualities throughout her career. Time and again, she has faced adversity, criticism, and setbacks, yet she continues to represent the Philippines with pride and determination. The bigger question now is whether tennis authorities will address the concerns being raised by fans and analysts. As Eala's profile continues to grow, scrutiny of how she is treated on the sport's biggest stages will only increase. Many supporters believe that a player who has done so much to elevate Philippine tennis deserves not only recognition for her achievements, but also a level playing field where her performances, not controversies surrounding management or officiating, become the main story.
Alex a little bit annoyed now. That's the second time that has happened with that same linesman.
For many fans, the most frustrating part wasn't just the call itself. It was how the situation was handled afterward. Instead of making a definitive ruling, officials reportedly chose to replay the point. To critics, that decision only created more confusion and controversy. In a sport where precision and consistency are supposed to be paramount, moments like these inevitably attract scrutiny. What stood out, however, was Alex Eala's response. Rather than losing her composure, she approached the chair umpire calmly but confidently. She made her case, stood her ground, and refused to let the situation shake her focus. That ability to remain composed under pressure has become one of the trademarks of her game. Many players would have allowed frustration to derail their performance. Eala did the opposite. And that's what makes her journey so compelling. Time after time, she has faced challenges that could have distracted her from the task at hand, yet she continues to fight through them. Instead of dwelling on controversy, she redirected her energy back into the match and continued competing at a high level. According to her supporters, that determination is one of the reasons she has become such an inspiration to tennis fans throughout the Philippines and beyond. The result was impressive. Despite the distractions, despite the disputed moments, and despite the pressure of competing on one of the sport's biggest stages, Eala continued her run and advanced deep into the qualifying tournament. Her ability to stay mentally strong in difficult circumstances became just as noteworthy as her tennis.
Most dominant players of her generation, Swiatek entered the match with enormous expectations. For Eala, it was another opportunity to prove that she belonged among the elite. What happened during and around that encounter would spark even more discussion among fans, analysts, and commentators. Supporters of Eala argued that the treatment she received continued to raise questions, while others maintained that such controversies are simply part of the pressure and unpredictability that come with competing at the highest level of professional tennis. Either way, the debate surrounding Alex Eala was only beginning to grow. At that stage of the match, Alex Eala was showing exactly why so many people consider her one of the brightest young talents in tennis. Facing Iga Swiatek, a multiple Grand Slam champion and former world number 1, is a daunting challenge for any player. Yet Eala wasn't intimidated. She was competing with confidence, matching one of the sport's biggest stars point for point, and proving she belonged on the same court. As the match progressed, her momentum continued to grow, and fans began to believe that a stunning upset might actually be possible. Then came a moment that sparked immediate controversy. During a crucial stretch of the match, an official reportedly addressed an issue involving items in Eala's backpack. According to critics, what could have been handled discreetly instead became a public interruption that drew unnecessary attention. The announcement was heard throughout the stadium, instantly shifting the focus away from the tennis and toward an off-court matter. Supporters of Eala were quick to question both the timing and the manner in which the situation was handled.
On one of tennis's biggest stages, but Eala showed the same resilience and professionalism that have become hallmarks of her career. Even amid controversy, she stayed focused on the match and continued fighting for every point. For her supporters, the episode became another example of the challenges Eala has had to navigate throughout her rise in professional tennis. Whether those concerns are justified or not remains a subject of debate, but there is little disagreement about one thing. Eala's ability to maintain her composure under pressure has earned her admiration from fans around the world. Her determination to keep competing despite distractions is one of the qualities that continues to make her one of the most compelling young players in the sport today. Imagine the pressure from a player's perspective. You're locked into the match, competing against one of the best athletes in the world, and every point matters. Then suddenly, attention shifts away from your performance and onto an issue that many observers consider unrelated to the tennis itself. Moments like that can have a significant psychological impact. Momentum is fragile at the highest level of sport, and even a brief distraction can affect confidence, concentration, and rhythm. Supporters of Alex Eala argue that incidents like these create unnecessary obstacles for a young player trying to establish herself among the elite. They believe that public interruptions, controversial decisions, and questions surrounding tournament management can place additional pressure on an athlete who is already competing under intense scrutiny. From their perspective, players should be judged by their performances on the court, not distracted by situations that could potentially be handled more effectively behind the scenes. This is why comments attributed to Novak Djokovic have attracted so much attention. As a 24-time Grand Slam champion and one of the most accomplished players in tennis history, Djokovic understands the demands of competing at the highest level. His opinions carry weight because he has spent years navigating them.
Management? Fans naturally pay attention. The broader discussion goes beyond any single match or incident. It raises questions about how emerging stars are treated, how officiating decisions are handled, and whether all players receive equal opportunities regardless of their background or nationality. Many fans believe that talented athletes from developing tennis nations often face greater challenges in earning recognition, visibility, and support compared to players from traditional tennis powerhouses. What remains undeniable is Alex Eala's resilience. Throughout her career, she has repeatedly demonstrated the ability to stay focused despite setbacks, criticism, and controversy. That determination has helped her become a source of pride for the Philippines and one of the most exciting young players in the sport. As the debate continues, supporters are calling for greater consistency, transparency, and fairness across professional tennis. They argue that every player, regardless of ranking or country of origin, deserves equal treatment, clear officiating, and the opportunity to compete under the same standards. Ultimately, fans want the spotlight to remain where it belongs, on the athletes and the tennis they produce on the court. So, the question remains, are these incidents simply part of the unpredictable nature of professional sports, or do they point to larger issues that tennis authorities need to address? The conversation surrounding Alex Eala's experiences is likely to continue long after this tournament has ended. The debate surrounding Alex Eala's treatment in professional tennis continue to show the qualities that define great competitors. As discussions about fairness, officiating, and player treatment continue, fans remain eager to see how her career develops in the years ahead. With her talent, work ethic, and mental strength, many believe she has the potential to achieve even greater success on the international stage. What do you think? Do you believe Alex Eala has faced unusual challenges during her rise through professional tennis? Or are these situations simply part of the sport? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. If you enjoyed this video and want more tennis news, analysis, and coverage of the biggest stories in the sport, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a like. Your support helps the channel continue bringing you the latest updates and discussions from the world of tennis. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay passionate about the game, and we'll see you in the next video.